We need to talk about those text messages that Candace Owens exposed from Charlie and a group of other people just 48 hours before he was shot. And yes, you know that I have expressed my opinion about Candace in past videos. Yeah, maybe I don't agree with everything what she says. Maybe sometimes I think that she is very way too over the top. But I have agreed. I have told everybody that I think that she is great at what she does. That is undeniable. And when she brings the receipts, well, she deserves to be listened to. In this case, when I saw that there's text messages, and when they were from a group chat, there were so many people saying that, oh, Candace Owens made up, just fabricated these messages. And I said, well, my first reaction, wait a second. Okay, you could fabricate a conversation with another person and it would be really hard to prove. But fabricating a group chat when there is at least other 7 people who can prove or disprove that the chat exists, oh, that's a completely different ballgame. So I knew instantly that this was legit. So in those text messages, Charlie Kirk says, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody whose name is blurred, Candace has said that she's going to release the names eventually. She was clear on X, by the way, that Bill Ackman was not one of those people. Because, people have this, were making this, all the theories about who was in that group chat. And she said herself on her official account of X, replying to Bill Ackman, no, I can confirm that Bill Ackman is not on the list in the group chat. So Charlie Kirk continues, Jewish donors play into all the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied by like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Okay, that is interesting. And then somebody else says, please don't invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term, in my opinion. Like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times. After dust settles a bit, maybe it will be a mistake. I think it says it will be a mistake. The messages continue a bit more caught in there. I think that this proves a couple of things. This proves that up until 48 hours before Charlie Kirk was shot, he was thinking of, inviting Candace Owens and the people in that group chat. Maybe you could say, okay, because there were so many people. You know that Candace Owens, she said that, I was in contact with Charlie. I was really close friends with him. And many people were calling her out. And I didn't say anything about that because I had no way to prove otherwise. So I took that at face value. Okay, so you are Charlie's friend. There was so much disinformation, by the way. This guy on the Patrick Bet-David podcast saying that she hadn't been to an event of TPUSA in years, when she was like last year in 2024. A lot of crazy stuff, strange stuff regarding Candace Owens. But this proves 2 things. One thing is that, they were still close. And this was not satire or parody or Charlie Kirk was trying to be, witty or say, I'm going to joke about inviting Candace, in a sarcastic way, because is that somebody that we assume knows Charlie well, knows that he was being serious, and they answer in a serious way. Please don't invite Candace. So I guess that the people were saying, all the people that were saying that Candace and Charlie were not close up until that moment, well, I think that they deserve, Candace deserves, they owe Candace an apology. So sorry, it's like, I think the caffeine hasn't kicked in yet. So this is interesting for, all the stuff that is out there. And now we already have Andrew Colvett confirming, Andrew Colvett, Charlie Kirk's like, best friend, second in command at TPUSA, confirms the texts from Charlie Kirk that were shared yesterday by Candace Owens are authentic. The texts in question were from Charlie in a group chat in which he said he had no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. And this guy says Charlie was wonderfully defiant. He was wonderfully independent, and he believed in the freedom of speech, and he felt like he deserved, as a friend of Israel over many years, the right to speak out and have a criticism. I already made a video about the letter that Charlie Kirk sent to Benjamin Netanyahu. Again, inconsistencies in there. Again, this same guy said, Andrew Colbert said, that the letter is real. So, well, it's like if he says that you have to, let's watch this clip. Let's watch the clip so we can see his body language when he says that he's happy that the truth is out there. This is going to be interesting because there's a lot of inconsistencies in here.
But I want to take the start of this show to address some of the things that have been going around on public, namely about a group text chain that has been made known and released by Candace Owens. And I just want to address it head on because, that was a screen grab that I had shared with people. So it is authentic. And I want to go into it because I actually am really excited that the truth is out there.
Well, he doesn't look excited that the truth is out there at all.
I first want to say the reason I didn't share that screen grab publicly is because it was a private exchange, and I felt like it didn't necessarily comport with things that were already public. I wanted to not betray my friend's trust in that way.
I think that what he really didn't want to do was to upset more Jewish donors. I think that he is like reading between the lines. It is obvious that releasing those texts should have been released when people were discussing all the things, all the nuanced position of Charlie Kirk's about Israel. It was this conflict, yes, hiding it, concealing it is much worse than, just acknowledging that, when you say that Charlie Kirk had a nuanced stance about Israel, he loved Israel, as he said many times, but there was this conflicting stuff about not being able to speak his mind or invite whoever he wanted to TPUSA events. That's another thing. And it's the murkiness of the stuff what is suspicious. At least that is my problem with that.
But I did share it with some people in government because it happened really quick. It was, it took 33 hours for authorities to get their suspect. And in those first moments, we wanted no stone unturned. We wanted to leave nothing unturned. So I shared it with a few people. Don't know where it went from there, apparently, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. And you know what happens is that one of the main discussion of people, one of the main issues that people have with this is you want to, let's say, try to, quench conspiracies or try to take down the conspiracies or try to be as transparent as possible. So people have making this crazy conspiracies. You think that this was not going to make it to the public eventually? I know that there's an investigation and there's a prosecution of an individual, of Tyler Robinson. But the problem is that withholding this kind of stuff, when your same opinion of Charlie is that he didn't take any, he was not bossed around by anybody. That was just a way of proving that. He had already said that. And in this interview, this same video, I'm not going to play this because this is a 10-minute clip. He trying to justify this. He says that, Charlie's stance on Israel was very nuanced. And he, again, includes that clip of Charlie with Megyn Kelly. How many times have we watched this video? I know that I included that on one of my analysis. Maybe I should I should do a complete statement analysis of this exchange. This is like 15 minutes or so. And they were talking about Israel, that they loved Israel, but they felt frustrated because they couldn't criticize the Israel government or Israel's decisions about stuff. And but again, the messages are, how to say this? By the way, it's like so many people say out there. It's my understanding. I haven't seen all of Candace's podcasts, but it is my understanding, because so many people have pointed this out, that Candace Owens at no point has said expressly the words like Israel killed Charlie Kirk. At no point she has said those words. She has never made that statement. She is, well, as every single one of us is doing, asking questions. And if you have the receipts, especially if you have this kind of receipts, Charlie Kirk himself, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause 48 hours before he was shot. And then you see Andrew Colvett with that body language pretending to be happy that the truth is out there. It's like, well...
It is authentic, and I want to go into it because I actually am really excited that the truth is out there. I first want to say the reason I didn't share that screen grab publicly is because...
So again, there's so much going on in here. But how to say this? I think it was Jeremy from The Quartering who said two things can be true at once. What did he mean by that? Well, one thing is that, yes, Charlie Kirk was pro-Israel all the way, and he sent Netanyahu that letter in May of this year, and the letter, let's say the letter is legit, and it showed that, that you realize when Charlie Kirk was speaking with Megyn Kelly, how they were, yeah, I'm pro-Israel. I want Israel to win. I want Israel to succeed. He says that so many times, and that is, in his own words, aligned with what you see in the letter. So it's not that much of a stretch. There are some things in that letter that he said that were a bit off. You can watch my video on that analysis. But at the same time, he could be frustrated that the donations of some Jewish donors were dependent on huge donations, like $2 million a year, were dependent on, you cannot platform Tucker Carlson. You cannot platform Candace Owens. You cannot platform people who are not or are just the slightest anti-Semitic, right? But at the same time, Tucker Carlson, that's not what Tucker Carlson, the only thing that he talks about. Again, I can disagree with many things with Tucker Carlson, but I know that that is not the only thing that Tucker Carlson talks about, and that is not the only thing that Candace Owens talks about. In fact, Charlie Kirk tried to be very, try to keep the bridge and keep the door open, both for Tucker and Candace, making sure that, okay, they have their stances, but it doesn't mean, it's like in everything. It's like I have supported what Matt Walsh says many times, but there are things that Matt Walsh says that I disagree with. For example, I don't agree with his stance about anime and video games. I am like completely opposite of Matt Walsh. Does it mean that I have to disagree with everything else that Matt Walsh says? No, I have recommended his videos more than a couple times. So this is how this is working, but it would be really helpful if we had only a bit more, transparency of what was going on. So Charlie Kirk could have loved Israel, could have been this really pro-Israel guy, have this interest of Israel winning the public relations, propaganda, you name it, the way that you like it. That war on social media, but at the same time be frustrated that he, was being pressured into, you cannot platform such and such. And yeah, that should be that should be frustrating. I can understand that. I mean, I'm completely independent. Nobody controls what I say, and I would be, at this point of my life, I would be really frustrated if you told me, okay, I'm going to invest in your channel. I'm going to invest in the Body Language Guy channel, but you cannot talk about these topics. You cannot talk about these topics in this way. Well, that actually would break the purpose of why my channel has grown, because of credibility. Why TPUSA has grown, because credibility is the same thing. It's the same stuff. So again, I would love to know what you should take about this in the comments. Remember that I have a channel dedicated to political commentary, The Power Pundit. I will leave you with a link in the description so you go and like and subscribe as well. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Much love and bliss.